Is Blake Lively really Hollywood's golden girl? Or is there more to the story? Behind the glamour, whispers of her being rude have sparked debate. But what if those accusations are just what happens when a woman takes control, builds an empire, and refuses to play by the rules? Blake Lively, known for her effortless charm and elegance, is far more than just a Hollywood starlet. Over the years, she's made headlines not only for her acting roles but for her bold career moves, directing music videos, building a successful business with Betty Buzz, and shaping her creative projects on her own terms. But not everyone appreciates her rise to power. In recent months, rumors of her being difficult and even rude have surfaced. For some, these accusations may tarnish her reputation, but others see them for what they really are: a reflection of how society reacts when women claim authority and refuse to conform to traditional expectations. Interestingly, this dynamic is mirrored in Lucy Cook's book Bitch, on the Female of the Species, where the narrative of passive, submissive females is shattered by examples from the animal kingdom. Cook reveals a world where female dominance, leadership, and defiance are not the exception, but the rule. And Blake Lively's career embodies these wild truths in more ways than one. Principle 1. Defying stereotypes. Lucy Cook argues that society has long misunderstood the natural role of females, not just in the animal kingdom but in human life. For centuries, we've been conditioned to believe that females are passive, nurturing, and subordinate, while leadership and aggression belong to males. But in nature, many female species lead, compete, and dominate with incredible strength. Blake Lively's rise is a perfect example of defying these outdated stereotypes. Hollywood initially boxed her into the pretty blonde trope, casting her in roles that relied solely on her looks and charisma. But instead of staying in that lane, she made a deliberate choice to reinvent herself as a creative powerhouse. She took charge of her narrative by directing Taylor Swift's I Bet You Think About Me music video, which earned critical praise. This move wasn't just about artistic expression, it was a declaration that women belong behind the camera as much as in front of it. Just like Cook's portrayal of female dominance in nature, Blake Lively shows us that being fierce and assertive isn't a flaw, it's a strength. Principle 2. Female agency and leadership. One of the most powerful ideas in Bitch is that female species often take the lead, challenging the assumption that leadership is inherently male. From matriarchal elephant herds to dominant female bonobos, Cook reveals how females thrive when they assert control. Blake Lively's career mirrors this principle perfectly. Rather than waiting for opportunities to be handed to her, she's actively sought out leadership roles. In a male-dominated film industry, where directing and producing are often reserved for men, Blake has carved out space for herself by taking ownership of her creative projects. Her work as a producer on films like The Rhythm Section is evidence of her determination to lead and shape her own career. Her business ventures further highlight this leadership. With Betty Buzz, Lively didn't just create a brand, she redefined what a female-led business could look like. By positioning herself as both the creative and strategic force behind the company, she demonstrated that women can lead not just creatively but commercially. Principle 3. Challenging perceptions of power. Cook makes a fascinating point in her book. Female dominance is often misunderstood or dismissed. When females take charge or exhibit strength, they're labeled aggressive or even undesirable. Sound familiar? Blake Lively's experience in Hollywood mirrors this exact dynamic. Recent accusations of her being rude reflect a societal tendency to punish women who assert themselves. But what if these accusations are simply what happens when a woman stops smiling, stops apologizing, and starts making decisions without asking for permission? This is a common story for powerful women. Assertiveness is framed as arrogance, and leadership is mistaken for rudeness. Blake Lively's refusal to conform to the sweet and accommodating narrative isn't a flaw, it's a necessary act of rebellion. Just as Cook's examples of dominant female animals remind us that power can take many forms, Lively shows us that female success often requires pushing back against expectations. Principle 4. Fierce independence. In nature, as Cook highlights, many female species thrive by charting their paths and making independent decisions. From female orcas who lead their pods to desert spiders who fend for themselves, fierce independence is often a survival strategy. Blake Lively embodies this same spirit of independence. Rather than relying on Hollywood to define her success, she has consistently taken control of her narrative. Lively is known for meticulously curating her public image, handpicking roles that align with her values, and rejecting projects that don't serve her creative vision. Her business venture, Betty Buzz, is another example of this fierce independence. Lively didn't just invest in an existing brand, she built one from scratch, pouring her creativity and business acumen into every detail. By doing so, she proved that women don't need to follow traditional paths to achieve success. They can forge entirely new ones. Much like the independent female creatures in Cook's book, Lively has thrived by trusting her instincts and making bold, autonomous decisions. Principle 5. Redefining success. One of the most compelling lessons from Bitch is that success doesn't always look the way society expects. In the natural world, female success often involves adaptability, resilience, and collaboration rather than brute force. Cook's examples of female animals thriving in unexpected ways challenge us to rethink what success really means. Blake Lively's journey exemplifies this redefinition of success. She didn't settle for being just a Hollywood actress. Instead, she built a multifaceted career that includes acting, directing, producing, and entrepreneurship. By refusing to be confined to a single role, Lively demonstrated that success isn't about fitting into a predefined mold, it's about breaking it entirely. Her ability to balance a thriving career, a successful business, and a high-profile family life is a testament to her adaptability and resilience. In a world that often pits women against impossible standards, Lively has created her version of success, one that is authentic, versatile, and impactful. So, is Blake Lively really rude, or is she simply rewriting the script on what female power looks like? Lucy Cook's Bitch, On the Female of the Species reminds us that fierce, dominant, independent females aren't rare, they've always been here. And Blake Lively is proving that in Hollywood, just as in nature, the female of the species is a force to be reckoned with. Whether you see her as difficult or determined, one thing is clear: Blake Lively isn't just part of the story, she's writing it.